Hello and welcome to the Letterhead, the channel where we talk about sign painting, gold leaf, design and everything in between. So if you're about that, make sure to hit subscribe, and I try to release a video every few weeks. I'm going to go ahead and apologise now for this really bad camera angle. I do change it in a moment, so just bear with me. We're going to speed through this first bit. And then I'll change to a different angle where you can actually see what's going on. Now before I get into why I'm making this sign, I'll just go over some of the tools that I use for this. So in the beginning I used the MAC 179, which is a soft quill, and it's normally pretty good for script and things like this, and I really like it because it holds an awful lot of paint. So I've gone for this one to start, and the paint that I'm using is Ronan's medium green. Now this is a really nice green, but I'd noticed that the greens don't really cover very well, so I did also put a little bit of black in there to darken it up and hopefully get it to cover in one coat. But it didn't really work out covering in one coat, so in the end I had to do like a hot coat over it the second time round. Now the only thing about the quill that I was using at first is it's really good on smoother surfaces. Now the problem I had with this sign is I was kind of running out of time, so I didn't give it the extra coat and extra layer of sanding that I would normally do, and just kind of gave it 2 coats of the green top coat. But the problem is then now it's kind of not as smooth as it should be. Kind of meant that I had to keep going over the letters quite a few times to get it to actually cover and give me a nice straight edge. Within a few letters I actually swapped over to a sable brush, and this one actually is a little bit stiffer, so it should really help me a lot more, although in the end the surface was just that little bit too bumpy, and although you can't really see it in the video, it's just not as smooth as I was hoping it would be, and not as smooth as it would be if I was doing this for a paid job. But here we are, I just need a sign and I need it quick. So if there's one lesson you can learn from this, is to always take the time to do an extra coat. Make sure to sand it off, get it really smooth, and it will save you so much time when you're writing it. The only problem I had was that I needed to use a mask for some of the lettering underneath because it was so small, and I couldn't wait for an extra layer of paint, so I had to just take it, grin it and bear it. But in the end it did look really good. So now a few months ago, myself and my partner decided to apply for an arts festival not far from where we are, so we can showcase some of our work. And it was going to be the first event that I've ever done like this, a real big undertaking, and I kind of knew that I'd need a lot of things to get ready. I'd have to buy a lot of equipment to help set up and to get everything in place. So it really was asking a lot that I would be able to be ready in time, but you know, I thought, forget it, you know, let's try it out. We'll see how it goes. The art show itself wasn't very expensive, so I thought, you know what, this will be a good opportunity for me to actually show off some of the work that we do on the channel. So I signed up, and actually surprisingly we both got our spot. So at this point we were absolutely over the moon, so excited. I mean, I'd helped her with her own art shows before, but we'd never actually done one together, so I was actually really raring to go. So in order to meet my deadline, I really had to hit the floor running and get making as much stuff as I could. Now some of them I made into videos, like the Lord of the Rings glass sign, but a lot of them sadly didn't make it into videos. I just wanted to concentrate on getting them done and getting them ready. But on the upside, it did give me a chance to try out a few new ideas that I'm looking forward to showing you on the channel in the next few weeks. So keep your eyes peeled because I've got some really exciting stuff in the pipeline. Now of course, on top of all the signs that I needed to make that I was going to be selling, I needed to bring some samples and even make a frame or some kind of desk that this is all going to sit onto. It's no point me just bringing a table and then being able to show like 3 or 4 things. I need to make something really cool that's actually going to showcase things and make it look nice and smart. But also at the same time, I'm working on a tight budget and with an extremely tight time frame. and during all this time I have a full-time job to do and family obligations as well. So I have to make this work alongside everything else that I've got going on. And I think that's where the problem started. I mean, you look forward and you think, oh man, I've got a few months to work on this, I should have tons of time. And then before you know it, you've kind of got a few weeks and you still need to make yourself a sign that actually says what you are and what you do. So here I am trying to make something that's functional but doesn't take up too much space and clearly says what I am and what I do. So all I'm writing on this sign today is the letterhead. I have some other text on there, but in order to save time and the fact that it would just be really neat, I just used a stencil for that, and in the end that came out pretty nicely. But I really wanted that hand painted feel, so I decided that in the end I'd just paint the top lettering, despite the fact it being rough and a pain in the arse. So at this point when I recorded this video, it was about 3 days before the event was due to take place, and I had been absolutely busting a gut trying to get everything done, really just pushing everything to try and make sure that I had enough stuff to sell, and not only that it wouldn't look like a mess, and I was also worried about the weather. As in preparation for this event, you kind of want to be prepared for all certainties. So for the first few weeks before the event, it absolutely looked lovely. It looked like it was going to be sunny all day and just absolutely gorgeous and warm. And I mean, it's right in the middle of Canadian summer, so you can be pretty sure that you're going to get some relatively decent weather at this time of year. And the week coming up to it was absolutely gorgeous. But then as I looked, I noticed that there was a big storm due for that very day that we were going to have the event. So I was really worried at this point, but we've had it in the past that they've had these warnings and then it never came through. So I was like, you know what, I have to just keep at it. I've prepared this long, I've got no choice but to keep trying and get everything ready, and hopefully everything will turn out for the best. And as 3 days turned to 2 days and still no change, and then 2 days turned to 1 day and still no change, and you know, you wake up in the morning and unfortunately it wasn't gonna change. It was looking like it was gonna storm all day, and like that, months of preparation pretty much undone thanks to the weather. So it was absolutely gutting, because in the end it looked like the event was going to be a bit of a flop and a bit of a dead one before it even started. I must be truly honest, I was absolutely gutted. I'd spent quite a bit of money on trying to make enough signs, and some of them I didn't even film for the channel, and I've spent money for the 10, and you know, you pay out money for all sorts of stuff and you hope that you're gonna earn something back and maybe even put something towards the savings, but in the end, just absolutely disaster. But we decided that, you know, we were gonna at least turn up and make a decision on whether to set up that morning. So we packed up everything, chucked it all in our truck, drove down there, and you know, it looked like it was going to hold off for an hour or so, so we thought, screw it, we'll set up, seeing as most of the other things are still going on. And we set up, and as you can see from the weather, it was just rotten. It was rotten for most of the morning and most of the day. Now I have to say, the weather did hold out on the storm as much as that it didn't threaten the breaking of any of our stuff, but it just meant that no one turned up, and it was just absolutely gutting. And in the end, you got no choice but to just suck it up and get on with it. So at least on the upside, I have tried out a few new sign ideas, and some of them I really like. So I've tested them out, obviously in the making of the signs for that event, but now I can make more and hopefully make them a little bit better. So we look forward to that, and I look forward to making some more great videos. Now I know this video was more of a rant about the event more than anything else, and a little bit of an explanation as to why I haven't been doing too many videos lately. But I do have exciting things in the pipeline, so make sure to stick around and keep an eye out for that. Now if you like this video, make sure to give it a like, and if you want to see more content like this, make sure to hit subscribe. I've been Lewis the Letterhead, and until next time, bye bye.